Hi, my name is Tazandra Green, and I am here to give you an analysis about the short story Soldier's Home by Ernest Hemingway. This story took place mostly at Krebs' home. After he left home, he went to the military and he came back much later than the guys that he was drafted with. The characters in this story is Creb, the son who went to the military, his mother, his father, his two sisters, and their dad. Creb went overseas and came back years later, which made people wonder about what he was still doing over there. They began to realize that he had not come back with the other guys that had been drafted with him. When he came back, people really wasn't interested in hearing what he had to say because he had stayed gone so long. Creb, when he got back, he kind of isolated himself from the world because people really didn't want to hear his voice, and his experience about the war. So people just kind of had a dead ear on him and didn't want to hear him. Later on, after Creb realized that people didn't want to hear him, he basically started staying at home to entertain himself. He started reading, started staying on the porch, basically just doing things around the house. He basically kind of went into depression mode. He didn't really want to be bothered by anybody. But he would actually sit on the porch, and there were little girls that would walk by, and he kind of liked to see the girls walk by, but he really didn't want to be bothered by them because he said that it was just, he would always say it was just too complicated to have a conversation with them. He was kind of, like I said, wanted to be isolated and kind of in depression mode. He thought it was just too hard to carry on a conversation with them. And in my opinion, that's why I say he was kind of in a depression mode, because he kind of just didn't want to be bothered with anybody. But one day his mom actually went to Creb and kind of talked to him and told him that him and her dad, her and his dad, wanted to Creb to kind of have the car during the evening time. The car mainly was used by the father because of his job. He was a realtor and worked in real estate, and he basically used the vehicle to take around the clients to different places, to farms, and to see different types of land. But the mom and dad had figured out that Creb was beginning to have a problem. So what they did was they thought that it would be better for him to get back out into society. So they were going to give him the car in the evening time so he could mingle with other people. Creb really didn't want to do that. When his mom mentioned it upstairs in his room, he said he would talk to his dad, but his mom, when he came down for breakfast, she began to talk to him about it again, and Creb didn't want to do all that. He didn't really want to mingle with anybody, so he kind of got upset with his mom, and she began to tell him how much she loved him, and he said he didn't love her, and this kind of hurt his mom's feeling, and so she started crying. Sometimes we can say things to hurt different people and their feelings, and make them hurt. And as she cried and she cried, he ran over to her and kind of said, "Mom, I'm sorry." He apologized because he really did. He said he really did love her. But whenever the conversation ended, they prayed. His mom prayed for him, and I think prayer is a powerful thing. Even if you're feeling down and lonely, God can lift you up. So I think by his mom praying and interceding on his behalf, because he didn't really want to pray, I think that kind of helped out. But in the end, even as when he was getting ready to leave, he said to himself, he really didn't love her. And that's horrible for somebody to have a feeling like that, to be in such a state to where life has brought them down so far to where they have no love for anybody. And that's just, the enemy has taken their joy and their peace and their love. He's taken it away from that person, so they don't feel any type of love. They don't feel any type of remorse for anybody. And that's a horrible state to be in. But in my opinion, when the enemy takes that, this happens to so many of us. It allows some of us to feel God comes in, and it has to take God to come in to fill us up again, because it's something that the enemy has stolen from us. just by being hurt by so many people in different in the world. God has to come in and restore us. So I mean, this story was a wonderful story. It kind of gave me just kind of look back over my life and just see how far I've come. And I don't really understand, in the end, the ending of the story was kind of a weird ending, because it just said he went out and watched his sister, do t-ball or play baseball. But I'm hoping that the ending of the story, which I know is fiction, but in the real life realization, I pray that God was able to restore that person that was feeling down and lost, that he was able to restore them. So again, this was a great story. The soldiers of the Soldier's Home. Thank you for listening and have a great day.